So what is it with a lot of, I said a lot of, many of them, not all of them, black women in the grocery store, you look them right in the face and you say hello and they act like you didn't say anything.
Black lady in the grocery store who did not speak back to you when you said, hey, please understand, sir, be glad that you spoke to her and not me. Because there is a black woman that will meet you with that fire.
We have civilized the world and done such a good job in first world countries to where women, in this case black women, are offended just to be asked to smile. It's offensive.
Rivah TV.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So I saw this in the wonderful world of Instagram, and basically this man was posing the question of why black women don't speak to men when they're in the grocery store, which was interesting because it was a similar topic of conversation with Kevin Samuels, in which, you know, that conversation was basically of why women aren't smiling anymore.
Somebody told you to smile, and you said you were what, offended?
Yeah.
Why?
We're going to go ahead and get into the entire situation, the video, the feedback that he got from women on TikTok, and I'm going to give you guys my opinions on this entire situation.
So I just came out of Kroger's to buy some groceries for next week, and I've got a question. God has had me in this period of isolation these last few months, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss the memo. So what is it with a lot of, I said a lot of, many of them, not all of them, black women in the grocery store, you look them right in the face and you say hello and they act like you didn't say anything? Am I missing something, or is there a memo that I did not hear about? This is Dr. Dex. Remember, Dr. Dex.
So again, he's coming off of like, hey, he said he was in a position of isolation. So he's like, let me know if I missed something. Was there something going around on social media? Like, is there something that literally happened? Because, you know, based off of the color of his beard, the color of his hair, you know, I would assume that he is just talking about normal manners, right? Where you see somebody and you acknowledge their existence, and, you know, you give them feedback or response that you've seen or heard them speak to you. And so as he's saying, he's like, did I miss a memo? Am I tripping? Like, let me know what the situation is, because obviously it's something that he is not used to experiencing. Now, me, for one, you know, I'm, you know, kind of used to that. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of used to, you know, doing a smile or, you know, saying good morning and hearing, you know, no answer. I'm kind of used to that. But there were women who actually ended up responding to his conversation, responding to his thought processes, and wanted to let him know what the deal is and why they are not, you know, responding to him in a certain manner.
Black lady in the grocery store who did not speak back to you when you said, hey, please understand, sir, be glad that you spoke to her and not me. Because there is a black woman that will meet you with that fire if you don't back your and stop talking to me. When with the entitlement, the audacity, because you speak to me does not, I'm in the South too. Because you speak to me don't mean, oh, I have to, what? Men, do y'all agree with this? Women, do y'all, like, as a black woman, do I have to speak with you? Can I go in and buy my groceries and go home to feed my family? You're not paying for the groceries. I'm probably uninterested because it looks like that gut was busting over. You couldn't even look down there and see anything that you could do anything to do. Well, what's your purpose? Okay? Be glad she didn't meet you with that fire. Because not only did she not speak, you felt it enough. So I know you were just hawking her down probably too. And that's this woman. Then you keep looking at me a little too hard. You gonna make me uncomfortable. And don't make me nervous now.
So I want to say this based off of what that woman said, right? In my personal opinion, she created an entire narrative of he must have been hawking her down. She even talked about, you know, bringing a weapon into the occasion, you know, because if somebody's looking at her, like how did it escalate so far from that situation? Like, how did a weapon get introduced to a conversation of a man asking why women do not say hello to them? And interestingly enough, these are the same women who say that they're the least protected, that nobody cares about them, that, you know, society forgets about them, and, you know, they're victimized in all these situations. And here we hear a man who asked a very simple question. It wasn't invasive. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't disrespectful. It's not that he was trying to holler at her. He literally said that he walked past a woman and said hello to her, and she did not respond to him. She acted like he never existed.
So what is it with a lot of, I said a lot of, many of them, not all of them, black women in the grocery store, you look them right in the face and you say hello and they act like you didn't say anything.
And she took that situation and decided to say, oh, you better be lucky it's her and not some other people, because we would have had that fight. Like, how did that get introduced to the situation?
Because there is a black woman that will meet you with that fire.
Is that where we are as a community? That, you know, a man who's just saying hello, good morning, who's just trying to be cordial, you know, be friendly to a stranger, that you have to talk about the fact that you better be happy you tried that with somebody else and not me, because basically, you know, you would have caught the pow pow, like over a greeting. And then when the conversation is, posed of how did we get this far as a community, when we were such a collective, when we were such a united front, when we were such a solid unit, and women tried to act like it has nothing to do with them changing their behaviors, these are the conversations that need to be pinpointed. Because what are you talking about? She asked the question, she's like, oh, so, you know, do I have to say hello?
Men, do y'all agree with this? Women, do y'all, like, as a black woman, do I have to speak with you?
I believe that's wrong. And you are able to, if you don't want to acknowledge somebody when you're outside or when you're in your, you know, personal time or whatever, you're not in a mood, whatever, you have every right to not acknowledge somebody if you want to. Like, don't get it twisted. This is not like, oh, it's a force that you have to do this and you have to do that. You don't have to do anything. But it says a lot about you. It says a lot of the way that you are viewing the world. It says a lot of the way that you are viewing your male counterparts. If it is such a problem to you that person greeting you and being courteous to you triggers you and inflames you in such a, explosive way. That's crazy. And then she also pinpointed that situation where she's talking about like, oh, he has to, what are you going to do? Buy my groceries?
You're not paying for the groceries? I'm probably uninterested.
This goes to a conversation I had the other day. It's like, at one point, are you guys not going to understand that is considered dry begging? So if this man, you deemed him to be attractive, if this man, you looked at him as somebody who has money that could possibly sponsor your trip to the grocery store, then that would have changed your interaction. So when men have the standpoint of it's only based off of what's in my pocket or what I bring to a situation that people are kind to me or nice to me, you are proving that situation to be true. And again, we're not talking about a man who's trying to holler at a woman. We're not talking about a man who's trying to get somebody's number. We are talking about a man who just said the word hello, and it triggered so much of these negative responses from women. And that's why I said before that it reminds me of the conversation that Kevin Samuels had about, when he's talking to a woman about women not, being gracious or even having a smile when they are in public, or, when somebody gives them that friendly nod or whatever the case.
Somebody told you to smile and you said you were what, offended?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Because it's like, why is it such a demand for women to, well, especially for Black women, to just always look a certain way? Like, why can't we just naturally be whatever we feel?
You got so I want to get this clear. Someone just says, "Hey, smile," and it's offensive to you?
I mean, for the most part, it just comes across as like demanding. And I'm not saying
demanding.
That I feel, yes.
Huh.
Like, what if I don't feel like smiling? What if I'm in deep thought? What if I'm listening to something that's
This is where we're at. We have civilized the world and done such a good job in first world countries to where women, in this case black women, are offended just to be asked to smile. It's offensive.
It doesn't come off as a question of asking or requesting. It's almost a demand. Smile, beautiful. It's like, can I just relax?
Well, how about if
Relax.
How about if no one said a damn thing to you? What if every man just left you the fuck alone? Excuse my French. What if every man just left you alone? What if no black man said anything to you? Just ignored you? Would that be better?
I'd be really sad, honestly.
Oh, so you want us to engage you the way you want to be engaged, but you don't want to engage us the way we like to be engaged. Makes a whole lot of
So
sense.
men,
Now, I've been in situations before where I haven't been in the most pleasant mood. Okay, maybe I have a lot going on personally, or I have a lot on my mind, and I have literally been in spaces where, I've had men saying like, "Dang, why are you looking like that? You need to smile. You too pretty to be frowning," or some kind of jovial thing like that. And I never got offended by it, because I understand that what they're trying to do in that situation is bring light. So whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever problem that you're having that you're wearing on you, they're trying to change that. Like they're trying to be like, turn that frown upside down. They don't say it in that way, but I've always understood that that was the main reason as to why they were engaging in conversation when they see that you are looking in a certain way. Now, I believe that, context is obviously necessary. Like, obviously, if it's late at night and you're in a dark alley, I don't know why, as a woman, you'd be, in a dark alley by yourself late at night, and you see a man, maybe you're not going to be as friendly. Maybe you're not going to be as open to conversation or hellos or whatever, because you're in, survival mode or self-protection mode, and that's completely understandable. But in a common space on a regular basis, or on a normal day, when somebody's just saying hello to you, and like I said, being courteous, and he's noticing that other women from other backgrounds or other situations are more courteous and on a consistent basis, it's like, black women, when he's said hello to them, are acting like, why are you talking to me? Like, greeting with, or giving that face of like, who he think he talking to, over just a hello thing. That is alarming.
Women shouldn't have to feel obligated to smile to black men. We're holding a lot of trauma. We're holding a lot of problems,
How old are
mental
you?
health
Oh,
issues.
hold on. How old are you?
24.
Um, I'm gonna say this one more time. I need you to pay attention. I need all black women to pay attention. The world does not owe you understanding or me understanding. If you have all this trauma, go seek professional help, because the rest of us do not have to suffer you.
Okay, it's easy to tell black
It is.
women and black
Do
people
you not
in the
under
black community to get
whose
help,
responsibility is it to get the help they need?
but it's not available readily to our
That is
community that easily.
bullshit.
With the wealth gap growing, how many people
Whose
can afford?
responsibility is it to get the mental health they need? Who?
It is ultimately the responsibility of us to get the mental health that we need. But I'm
You
letting
mean
you know
you
that
mean the
we are
person being
very
a,
underserved.
you can't make this stuff up. So you say we're underserved. You got to tell me that the therapists that already exist are overloaded. We don't go get help, ma'am. You say the traumas. If I accept them, then you got to do something about them. Because what about the traumas that the black man has to deal with? But we still have to get out here and be functioning people in society, contributing. You don't get to
And
walk
if
around and say, you don't get to walk around and say, have a special victim status.
It's so ironic that he's called so many things. I say it all the time on a consistent basis, that he just called out so many things and so many problems and holes, and that's why, as time is going on, even though he's no longer present in the physical, like, there's always ways, or places that we're going to be able to go back to his conversations and be able to pull from them and use them in the conversations that we're having, even years down the line, because the truth cannot be overrode. Even if you didn't like the approach, you didn't like the feelings, the truth that was being spoken is something that is undeniable. And even in that situation, when he's talking about, this young woman, and he's talking about the smile, and it's up to you because you're on your own journey. If you are in a space that you cannot function freely or normally around other people, that is going to be up to you and to your job and your responsibility to do the work within yourself. Now, obviously, if somebody is going through something, it's harder for them to be able to express certain emotions because they are maybe being overloaded in their mind with whatever it is that they're going through. But I think that it would be a little bit hard to believe that that is the case majority of the time.
Holding a lot of trauma, we're holding a lot of problems.
I can see that being a portion of the situation, but I don't think that is the truth the majority of the time. The truth of the matter is that a lot of women at this age and stage that we are in life have disdain for men. 100%. Like once they see a man, they have an issue with that. They have a problem with just his male presence alone. And because of that, because of all the talk on social media, because of the way that, women are like, oh, men are beneath us, because of this whole feminist mindset and perspective, they are unable to have compassion or even just, like I said before, common courtesy with a man because they do not see the value in him as a being or as a person. And, a lot of times I feel like the only traits that women know of a woman is of a masculine woman, right? That's a fuse between the masculine energy and the feminine. And a feminine woman is nurturing. A feminine woman, doesn't move around, like a bulldozer, right? A feminine woman is compassionate, is nurturing, is soft, is, courteous. And that's just by nature. If a feminine woman is around and she sees, a child or a person or whatever, she is easily prone to have compassion for them just out of her nature. And so it's a lot of times that when women step out of their nature, they no longer are able to function normally to everybody else because everybody else knows their space and everybody else knows their place, but they don't.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss the memo. So what is it with black women in the grocery store? You look them right in the face and you say hello and they act like you didn't say anything. Am I missing something, or is there a memo that I did not hear about?
So since you asked if you missed anything, I'm going to go ahead and fill you in. I think a lot of women are tired. They are tired of men thinking that the slightest bit of politeness means that a woman is flirting with them. A hello, a how you doing, a smile. Women don't want to entertain men when they're grocery shopping.
I want to stop here for just a second. I'm going to let her continue. I think that there's context that matters. That man said a simple hello, right? And you can either say, I've had so many men, okay, on a consistent basis, because I try to be as pleasant as I can, even regardless of whatever. I try. I'm not saying I'm always perfect. I'm not saying I always hit the mark. But one thing I do have is that I genuinely am a courteous person. And so I've had men, sometimes you're in the grocery store and you have men who don't even work in the grocery store. They're like filling the shelves or whatever. And if I walk into an aisle and they're there and they say hello, I'm going to say hello back. I'm just being courteous. And I think a lot of women have a hard time understanding how to, be able to have a conversation with somebody, even if you're not interested in them. Like, it's okay to have a conversation and respectfully decline and respectfully keep it moving and not have to worry. Like in this public lit, place, you don't have to engage. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be demeaning. You don't have to be rude. Like, you can just be courteous and let it be known that I was just saying hello and not let it go further than that. Like, you don't have to move forward. But if you already have this chip on your shoulder, assuming that this man wants something from you, even if he actually doesn't, to me, that sounds like you might have some work within yourself to where you feel that the only time that a man wants to approach you or have a conversation with you is because he needs something from you. That might be a you issue, not necessarily the truth of what's happening in your surroundings.
Oftentimes when they're at the gym, when she's working out, she doesn't want you to tap her on her shoulder while she has her headphones on and speak to her.
Now, this is moving the goalposts because we're talking about being in the grocery store and somebody saying hello. Now you're going to somebody physically touching somebody else and getting into their personal space, and somebody trying to holla at her. That's two very different conversations. If we want to have a conversation about somebody trying to holla at you, as I said, you can respectfully decline, whatever. But I also want us to stick to the conversation of, this man said something about saying hello, and you're saying that, maybe some women are saying that, that the hello could be misunderstood for somebody trying to holler at them. Fine. But now we're in the gym. Like, when do we get in the gym? We was in the grocery store.
When she's on a walk, just minding her business with her sunglasses on, her headphones, and her phone in landscape mode, she doesn't want to stop and talk to the shirtless man. Women understand that some men are only nice and polite to the women that they find attractive. So we're always very careful about how much attention and how much encouragement we give random men. They probably just want to get their groceries and be left alone. They probably just want to work out and be left alone. They probably just want to go on a walk and be left alone. Keywords: be left alone. What I think some men need to understand is not every woman is playing hard to get. Some women actually are.
Again, I think that this what the conversation that she's having would have more merit if these men were all trying to holler at this woman. But you have a lot of women who are delusional and believe that because a man is saying hello to them, or because a man opened the door for them, that he's trying to get their number, that he's trying to holler at them. Like, men are very active, on pursuit. Like, if they are trying to pursue you, you're going to know there's not going to be anything misconstrued. You're not going to be confused. You're not going to have to read between the lines. Like, if he's going to approach you, that's what he's going to do. And again, there's this disdain of, oh, they want to be left alone. But then at the same time, we see these same women eventually hit the wall or get to certain ages and stages in life, and then they're crying on the internet and asking, where are all the men at? And how come men don't approach them in public? And how come men don't try to holler at them? And how come, they're forgotten about? Like, there's two parts of this same exact conversation. And you have the right to be left alone. You have the right to, not want to be bothered. You have the right. But at the same time, if you're now in a problem, if you're now in an issue, and you now need help or assistance in a certain manner, and people are more resistant in helping you because they look at you in a space where you're more resistant to even just being courteous to somebody, you can't then complain about that. You give up the privilege to then be able to complain. This is just my take on the situation. Again, shout out to the late, great Kevin Samuels, for always being ahead of his time and being present in the actual problems that are plaguing women and also our community. And obviously we know that to be true because, like I said, we can keep using him for a point of reference, and we always will be able to do that. So shout out to him. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on this entire situation. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.
Rivah TV.